The scene is set in a forest, shrouded in mist and dimly lit by the breaking dawn. A solitary figure walks barefoot along a dirt path, emphasizing vulnerability and connection to nature. Distant bells echo through the forest, creating an atmosphere of ancient mystery. The mist-filled forest enhances the tone of spiritual quest. The combination of dim light, mist, and distant bells evokes a sense of ancient mystery. The young Prince Vardhamana's early life was characterized by luxury and privilege within the royal palace. The lavish palace symbolizes the material wealth and comfort surrounding Vardhamana's initial existence. Gazing towards the horizon represents Vardhamana's contemplation beyond his immediate surroundings. This initial life of comfort contrasts with Mahavira's later renunciation of worldly possessions. The prince witnesses the return of weary soldiers, symbolizing the harsh realities of war and its impact on individuals. Merchants consumed by greed and material desire highlight the corrupting influence of wealth and worldly possessions. Priests engaged in theological disputes reveal the hypocrisy and internal conflicts within religious institutions. These observations contribute to the prince's growing disillusionment with the pursuit of worldly power and pleasure. The prince's exposure to suffering prompts him to question the value and meaning of his privileged existence. Renunciation of royal garments symbolizes detachment from worldly possessions. Standing naked under the open sky represents the beginning of an ascetic journey. Asceticism involves the practice of severe self-discipline and abstention from all forms of indulgence. Detachment from material wealth is a core principle in ascetic practices. The open sky symbolizes limitlessness and freedom from earthly constraints. Ahimsa is the principle of non-violence towards all living beings. This principle emphasizes carefulness to avoid harming any creature, intentionally or unintentionally. Ahimsa extends to all forms of life, regardless of size or perceived importance. Practicing ahimsa involves mindful actions and a deep respect for the interconnectedness of life. The goal of ahimsa is to minimize harm and promote compassion towards all beings. Jainism's core ethical framework is built upon 5 fundamental vows. Ahimsa, the principle of non-violence, emphasizes respect for all living beings. Satya, truthfulness, promotes honesty and integrity in thought, word, and deed. Asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha guide towards non-stealing, self-control, and non-attachment, respectively. Mahavira's asceticism involved enduring harsh environmental conditions without complaint. Self-discipline is a central tenet of Mahavira's spiritual practice. Meditation under extreme conditions exemplifies the strength of Mahavira's commitment. Ascetic practices are intended to purify the mind and body through rigorous self-control. Mahavira demonstrated unwavering resolve through enduring various hardships. Insect bites were among the physical adversities faced during his ascetic practices. Exposure to rainstorms tested his resilience against the elements. Extreme temperatures posed significant challenges to his physical endurance. His commitment remained steadfast, despite harsh environmental conditions. The visuals emphasize the physical and mental fortitude required for spiritual practice. Kevala Jnana represents the attainment of infinite knowledge and perfect perception. This state symbolizes the enlightenment of Mahavira. Kevala Jnana signifies ultimate spiritual liberation. The attainment of Kevala Jnana marks the transcendence of worldly limitations. Jainism emphasizes self-awareness and discipline as core principles. The philosophy of Jainism is often described as razor-sharp due to its precision. Mahavira's teachings focus on the rigorous practice of self-control. Disciples learn to cultivate inner strength through disciplined practice. Jain principles advocate for mindful living and ethical conduct. The path to enlightenment in Jainism requires constant self-reflection and refinement. Karma is a subtle consequence attached to the soul through actions. Thoughts contribute to the formation and accumulation of karmic matter. Desires also play a role in the subtle accumulation of karmic matter. Actions, thoughts, and desires collectively influence the state of the soul through karmic effects. Karma can be conceptually visualized as accumulated energy influencing one's state. Relentless discipline serves as a purifying force, gradually diminishing negative karmic accumulation. Nonviolence acts as a shield, preventing the generation of new negative karma. Self-awareness provides clarity, allowing for the conscious redirection of karmic energy. Modern cities often exhibit high levels of pollution, driven by industrial activity and consumption. Greed, manifested as excessive consumerism and material pursuit, is prevalent in many urban environments. Urban violence and social unrest can disrupt the harmony and stability of communities. Jain monks embody principles of nonviolence, simplicity, and detachment from material possessions. The principles of Jainism offer a contrasting perspective to the challenges of the modern world. Applying Jain principles can promote environmental sustainability, social harmony, and inner peace. Jain communities emphasize compassion and minimal harm to all living beings. Discipline is a core tenet, fostering self-control and ethical conduct within Jain communities. Jain principles promote environmental sustainability through mindful consumption and resource management. Vegetarianism is a fundamental practice, reflecting the commitment to nonviolence and respect for life. The practical application of Jain principles leads to a harmonious and sustainable way of life. Living with minimal environmental harm involves reducing one's ecological footprint. Compassion, in this context, extends to all living beings and the planet itself. Abstract imagery can represent the interconnectedness of environmental responsibility and ethical behavior. Reducing consumption is a key component of minimizing environmental impact. Practicing compassion involves making conscious choices that benefit both people and the planet. The ultimate goal is to achieve a harmonious balance between human needs and environmental preservation. Mahavira's meditation culminates in nirvana, symbolizing liberation. Nirvana represents the ultimate freedom from the cycle of birth and death. Liberation is achieved through spiritual practice and detachment from worldly desires. The radiating light symbolizes the attainment of enlightenment and inner peace. Meditation is the key practice for achieving spiritual liberation. The state of nirvana is characterized by eternal bliss and the cessation of suffering. The Jain path emphasizes self-discipline as a means to achieve spiritual liberation. Non-violence, Ahimsa, is a core principle in Jainism, extending to all living beings. Through self-discipline and non-violence, the soul is freed from karmic bondage. Ultimate freedom in Jainism represents the soul's liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Visuals depict the soul unchained, representing the ultimate freedom achieved through the Jain path.